Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rock Room. And yes, this week it's not about rocks. Yeah, I have a lot of other hobbies. So one of my other hobbies is I'm an audiophile, and for those of you who don't know, it's music. I collect CDs, I collect albums. I've got thousands of albums and hundreds of CDs, hundreds of cassette tapes, and I have a lot of stereo equipment. But this week what I'm doing, I just picked up a set of speakers at an auction, and I paid like 20 bucks for them. And let me turn around here, I'll show you what they are. And what they are is they are Pioneer CS-F9001s. And, you know, they're 8 ohm, rated for 150 watts. They say just your Pioneer speakers. They're a 3-way speaker. And I got them home. I turn this back around. I got them home. I plugged them in, turned them on. They sounded good for about 3 seconds, and then boom, the right side. Well, you know, the one I had hooked up to the right, and brrr, brrr, and I'm like, oh, geez. So I looked at it, and sure enough, if people are familiar with speakers, the foam, the surround foam around the woofer, they rot when they get really old. They just get real degraded. They just fall apart. So I looked at it, and sure enough, it was falling to pieces. So I got a repair kit, and I'll see if I can find it here. So I got this repair kit, and I got this repair kit from Springfield Speakers. I don't know if that's coming the right way for you. I could turn that around, but if you can read backwards, that's Springfield Speakers. So I got this repair kit. It was like 20 some bucks or something. Yeah, it was it's $19. So yeah, even cheaper than I thought. So, but you know, but with shipping and taxes and yada yada yada. So it's 25 bucks to get it here, and it comes with. Turn this around. So it comes with 2 of these gaskets. This is the gasket here, a little paintbrush, and the glue, and then of course their instructions. So what I did is I repaired it, and this is the one I refoamed. You can see my glue job on there, which is irrelevant, you know. And I thought it was going to be a big pain in the rear, and it wasn't. So I waited the 26 hours I waited or whatever, and I hooked it back up to see, like, well, you know, did I do it or not? Hooked it back up, turned it on. Wow, sounded really great, really good. And then the other side went. Oh, of course, the other side. That's why they sell them in sets of 2, because if one's bad, you know the other one's going to be bad. So the other one was bad. And sure enough, so I yanked it out of there, and I'm doing the other one. So I'm no brainiac, so I kind of thought, yeah, you know, well, I'll try it. And like I say, the first one wasn't that bad. So here I am doing the other one. So like I said, it wasn't that bad. It was kind of easy, you know, messy, you know, glue, smelly. I got a big area in here that I so I'm okay for that. So here I am doing the other one, and I know you audiophiles out there, and Pioneer, you know, yeah, what I'm a Pioneer fan. I got a lot of I've got Yamaha speakers. I can show you. I've got Yamahas. I have Techniques. I have JBLs upstairs. I've got Sony, and I've got a few other ones too, but I've got a lot of speakers upstairs, and they're all, you know, the big floor, the big, you know, the power speakers, not bookshelf stuff, the big stuff, you know. And I love these speakers, man. These things got so much bass. They just pound. They're nice. I love them. I love the sound of, and of course, I can't go out and buy a set of $5,000 Klipsch or Harman Kardon or whatever the super expenses. I can't afford that stuff. None of us. Well, I shouldn't say none of us. A lot of us can't afford that kind of stuff. So for the low end guy like me, you know, I have to settle with what is in my ballpark. These are a good deal. I have another set of Pioneers, smaller set up there in the corner. I love the sound. So I figured, well, I'm going to go with the bigger set and see what the bigger set sounds like. And I'm real happy with it. So I'm in the middle of repairing this next one. And it's got a set for 24, 36 hours as it's glued to dry. But yeah, it's nothing real. Let me, if I can zoom out here a little bit. So you basically this rubber foam that goes along here just fell right out. I mean, it was no big deal to get it out. It just came right out. And then I took this little chisel and I went around the edge. I scraped out all the glue because it comes with this ring here, or gasket they call it, and this what kind of holds it down. You can see the old foam on there. So, you know, I pried that off. To be careful, I pried it off carefully so it didn't break. And then I pried that off. I peeled the rest of this foam out. And then I put some rubbing alcohol, and I got this edge clean. And then underneath this bottom here, you know, I just took it with my fingers, and I just used my fingers and kind of just rolled it, you know, rolled all that foam off all the way around. And now I'm going to take some Q-tips and I'm going to put some rubbing alcohol on there. Let me grab one here. So you just take this rubbing alcohol and you get it on this Q-tip, and then you just keep rubbing. And don't be worried about getting this really full of the alcohol, because it's going to evaporate. So just keep going round and round and round until this is completely clean. You want it completely clean. So just, you know, the first Q-tips will be black. And then by the time you're done, you know, you'll be rubbing on there and it'll come out pretty clean. I mean, you know, obviously they'll show dirt, but they'll come out pretty clean. So, and on these Pioneers, the gasket goes underneath, not on top. A lot of them, you just lay it down on top. This is kind of a little trickier because it goes underneath. So to get that glued from underneath, it's a little bit trickier to kind of pry up and get your band of glue around there. So I'll kind of show you how that works once I get this clean. But right now I got to use my Q-tips, and I got to go round and round and round and round to get this clean. Okay, so the speaker is all cleaned up, dry. Now we're going to take this foam gasket, and if you see this foam gasket, you know, it's got this thing in the inside, a groove. And on the outside, it's got a hump. The hump is going to go on the outside. So how we're going to get this in, and like I say, this one goes underneath. So how I get this in is you just start on one side, kind of tuck that under, and then keep going around, and just keep tucking it under. Make sure the other side ain't popping out ahead of you. Okay. And there it is, and I'll kind of pull it out, make sure it's sitting, make sure this is sitting in there just fine. And now what we're going to have to do is take our glue. I don't know if you could hear me as I walked away. We're going to take our glue, and as we lift up, in between, oops, not probably be able to see that, in between the cone, and we're going to just go around. And we're going to put our bead of glue in there, and then we're going to, you know, with pressure on from underneath, and of course you have these, you know, these ribs, so you're going to have to kind of, you know, get your finger in there. But, you know, once we get that glue in there, we're just going to keep going around and going around and going around, because it's going to keep wanting to come up on you or peel apart on you, because this glue is kind of does that, kind of makes this foam kind of move around. So we're going to keep that pressed around. We're just going to keep going round and round and round. Keep it pressed down, keep it together, keep the seam tight all the way around. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I got my bead of glue down there, and we're just gluing the inside. You're not gluing this outside on yet. You're just gluing the inside, that underneath flip. So I got this glued down, and I'm just going around and around and keep going around. and then coming up from underneath and kind of pressing, make sure that's seated tight together. Make sure there's glue in every bit of this surface. You don't want any area where that glue is not adhering to keep the thing together. It's got to be completely sealed all the way around. So we'll let this dry. Once it tacks up pretty quick. So once this sets, we're going to leave it sit for at least an hour before I worry about gluing on this outside. So we'll let this sit. I'll keep going around, make sure that it's got good contact, stays together, and then we'll let it sit and dry for an hour. Okay, so it's been an hour. Now I'm going to take the glue and I'm going to go around this outside edge. And now when I put this glue on this outside edge, it's going to want to like completely fall and curl up. So this is, again, you're going to have to keep going around and around and around and around and around and around till that glue sets up. And another thing you want to do is you want to make sure this is in the center, so when it goes up and down, you don't hear it rubbing on anything. It goes up and down, then you know it's in the center. So once I have that glued down and I keep going around and around and around, I'll glue on that little ring, and then we'll let it sit for 24 to 36 hours and see what happens. Now you see how that wants to keep rolling up? So you just keep going over with your fingers here. And just keep going over and going over. I've been doing this for a few minutes already, but the first few minutes doesn't pay to watch because it's just going to keep wanting to roll up and roll up and roll up. You know, wherever you got like more glue here than I probably needed, I'll wipe some of that out of there. And because there's more glue, it's going to be harder to set up. So I'm just going to keep going around, growing around. It'll keep getting tackier and tackier. And you can see already that it's already starting to set up pretty good. So I'll stop this. I'll keep going until it gets completely set up. So like I say, it's starting to set up really good now. I just kept going around and around. Any spot that looked like it might want to be lifting up, just keep going around. Keep that pressure, keep that thing sealed down. And as you can see now, it's not rolling up anymore, not curling up, because that glue goes pretty quick. And now once this glue sets up for after a couple more minutes, I'll take this ring, same thing, I'll put a bead of glue around this outside edge, and then try to look at where it's going to line up on the inside, put another little bead of glue on that, and glue this ring down, the retaining ring down, and then let it sit for the time allotted, 24 to 36 hours, and it should be set. We'll throw it back in and see what happens. Okay, so I got that other speaker foamed up, and they sound just amazing. They're really a lot of bass pounders on these things, so I don't know what I can play because of the copyrights and royalties or whatever. I'm not sure how any of that stuff goes. I tried to make a video to so you could hear them, but you know how that works on these phones. It just doesn't pick up anything like when I'm talking, but when you watch a video, it just doesn't do nothing. So it wouldn't be a good test. You'd have to literally come to my house, but trust me, they work. They sound excellent. And like I said, I've never done this before, so thanks for the people at Springfield Speakers for supplying me with the stuff and the knowledge to do this out myself. And they sound excellent. Thanks for watching.